All right, everyone. So this caught me off guard, and I originally was not going to make a video about this because I even said that I didn't think I was going to talk about each one of these summoning events in a whole separate video because they've all kind of blended together to feel very similar. And that is this boosted summoning rates that we have for Duchess Lilitu, 10 times the chance to get her. But there's a problem, and I noticed this very shortly after posting my earlier video today. A lot of people have been asking me, both in the comment section, in the Discord server, is it worth summoning? You got to tell me quickly, Salt, because we don't have that long on this one. And then I realized that when you actually take a look at this boosted summoning rates event, Plarium has done something differently that they have not done with one of these summoning events before, and that this one has a 1 day only timer. So a lot of people feel like they're very rushed on this one, and that's why they want an answer. And whereas normally I wouldn't end up making a separate video talking about this, because this one has such a short timer, I wanted to get the info out there sooner rather than later and get it to you guys hopefully before you guys do a bunch of summons without the proper information. So here we go for 1 day only from 9 UTC Thursday, January 16th to 9 UTC Friday, January 17th. We're giving you 10 times the chance of summoning Duchess Lilitu from both Ancient and Sacred Shards. Here's how it works. The chances of summoning legendary champions from both Sacred Shards and Ancient Shards are the same as normal. Very important. If you do happen to summon a legendary champion, which is very rare on its own, you will have 10 times the chance of getting Duchess Lilitu compared to any other champion. This is your chance to add a powerful support champion to your collection. Now, I will also say Duchess Lilitu is a very, very good champion. She's very strong for a support champion. Definitely going to be one of the best out there, and I would say probably going to be in a lot of people's top 10 list. If we take a look at her skill kit, she is in the Demon Spawn. Duchess Lilitu right here, her auto attack is absolutely phenomenal. Attacks one enemy 2 times, then places a shield buff equal to 10% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns on this champion and the ally with the lowest HP. It is based off defense, but if you take a look at the skills, you'll see that you can actually end up boosting this with skill books quite a bit to increase that shield and end up making it a very, very beefy shield. So for an auto attack, this is absolutely phenomenal. In my opinion, one of the best support utility-based auto attacks in the game on any champion. Now, her second ability places a 50% increased attack buff and a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. Places a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. You can lower this down to a 4-turn cooldown as well. So very strong buff support type ability right there. Her third ability, which is a Revive, revives all dead allies with 70% HP, places a Veil buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn, places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. And the crazy thing about that Revive is you can actually lower it down from a 6-turn all the way down to a 4-turn cooldown with skill books, which is quite short for a Revive type ability. You also have her passive here, decreases the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 25%, 15% from bosses, and decreases the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 40% if an ally is under a Veil buff, 25% from bosses. And finally, to top it all off, she does also have a Speed Aura. It's in all battles. It's a little bit weak though, but considering how powerful she is in pretty much every other aspect, especially for a support utility type champion, it kind of makes sense that if they were to tack on a Speed Aura on her, which is very strong on its own, that it isn't anything too crazy like 20, 27, 30% or something along those lines. So 19%, but it is also in all battles. So yes, she's very good. And Plarium, trust me when I say they are doing this on purpose. They are putting a very flashy, very desirable support type champion for one of these summoning events and then tacking on the 1 day timer on top of it. But if you don't really understand these events very well, you might get tricked into thinking that you actually have a decent chance in order to summon her, even with one of these time 10 events going on. And I will tell you guys that is absolutely not the case. Even with one of these 10 times events going on, your chances of getting her are still extremely, extremely small. She is 1 legendary in a pool of 63 total non-void legendaries. That's right, there's 62 other legendaries that you have to compete for. And even if you have a 10 times chance in order to get her, well, you're still competing with an insane amount of legendaries. So The example I like to use is if you have, like a bag of marbles. I know some people are probably tired of this example, but it just seems to work the best for this. You have a bag of marbles, right? And then every one of those marbles is a legendary. Whenever you do pull a legendary, which is a very low chance of happening to begin with, your chances of pulling a legendary are 1 in 200 from Ancient Shards and 1 in 16.67 from Sacred Shards on average. So it takes an average of 200 Ancient Shards just in order to pull a legendary. Regardless of whether that ends up being a Duchess Lilitu or not, it still takes an insane amount of shards just to get a legendary to begin with. Same with Sacred. 16.67 is a lot of Sacred Shards. Very few people will even ever have that many Sacred Shards saved up because they're so difficult in order to end up getting. But going back to that example, if you have a bag of marbles, you have 63 of them, well now add in another 9 marbles into the bag that are Duchess Lilitu. So you now have 72 total marbles and 10 of them are Duchess Lilitu. So yes, it increases your chances of getting her by a pretty decent amount, especially compared to other legendaries, but there's still a lot of other marbles in the bag. There's still a lot of other competition, and you still have about a 6 out of 7 chance of when you do pull a legendary that it's not going to be a Duchess Lilitu. So if you add that up, just think about it, right? You have a 1 in 200 chance from Ancient Shards or a 1 in 16.66 chance from Sacred Shards just to get a legendary. And the chances are not boosted. If you go to the actual summoning portal, you'll see right here, it's still an 8% chance for Ancient Shards, only a 0.5% chance for legendaries. For Sacred Shards, 94%, 6% for legendaries. They didn't double it, they didn't boost it. Your chances of getting epics and legendaries are just the same as they always are. So you have a very low chance of getting a legendary to begin with. And then when you do get a legendary, it's still, most of the time, 6 out of 7 times that you do get a legendary with this event going on, it's not going to be a Duchess Lilitu. It's going to be somebody else. So yes, your odds are higher, but they are still pretty low. And when you crunch the numbers, with a 1 in 200 chance to get a legendary from Ancients, 1 in 16.67 for Sacreds, it still takes you an average of over 1,000 Ancient Shards to get a Duchess Lilitu with this event running. So your odds of getting her are not that high. It also takes an average of about 120 Sacred Shards in order to get her with this event running. So while it is, and I will mention this because it is true, while it is technically going to be your best opportunity in order to get her specifically, if you have your heart set on her and no other legendary in the game, you just need to have her, yes, this will technically be the best chance and the best opportunity that you'll have in order to get her. But in comparison to all the other good events out there, especially the double rates event, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. And I would say overall, the value that you are going to get from your shards is going to be much, much higher during those double rate events. So just in comparison, if you take a look, again, it takes an average 1,440 Ancient Shards to get her, 120 Sacred Shards, but your chances of getting epics and legendaries are still the same as always. Now, if you have a double rates event, instead of having an only 8% chance to get to get epics from Ancient Shards and a 0.5% chance to get legendaries from Ancient Shards, now you're going to have a 16% chance of getting epics and a 1% chance of getting legendaries. And for Sacred Shards, that will be a 12% chance to get legendaries. So even though your chances of getting Duchess Lilitu in specific overall are going to be lower, you're going to get so many other good, usable, epic, and legendary champions that are not Duchess Lilitu that it's going to make it so that the double rate events are going to have the best value for your shards. So, some people, they still have their heart set on her, and if you guys just feel like you need to have her, yes, this will be your best opportunity, but my number one suggestion, especially to those of you guys who do not spend a lot of money and shards are very valuable to you, if you want to get the most value out of your shards, save them for the double rate events. They've been coming around more frequently. We know that they happen every couple of months. This game rewards patience. So you have to be patient. You have to save up your shards. It's been a while since we've had Sacred Shards. I think that this is going to be the next double rates event because it's been a while since we've had them. We just had Voids. We had Ancients about a month and a half ago. Every few months, they're going to run a double rates event for Ancient Shards, Void Shards, and Sacred Shards. And by far, that is going to end up being your best opportunity to summon. So those of you guys who are thinking about it, even though there is a one-day timer, I wanted to get this info out there. And even though my opinion has not really changed compared to any of the videos that I've talked about these events, it's important to get this out there because a lot of people seem to be panicking about this one-day timer, and I really don't want you guys to summon without at least knowing the proper knowledge. So now that you guys do, I hope that you make a more informed decision, whether it's to summon, whether it's to not summon. You guys know how I feel about this, and I'm going to end up leaving it here. So I don't want to talk about these kinds of events too much because it feels like I always say the same stuff, but Plarium definitely seems to keep doing something tricky and changing them up a little bit to really get people to try to summon. And this one-day timer really seems to have freaked a lot of people out. So that's why I wanted to get this out there to you guys. Hopefully you didn't summon too many shards before I posted this video, and that's going to be it for now. So thank you guys for watching. Have a fantastic day, everyone. If you enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for all the support, everyone. Consider tossing a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, and all that fun stuff should be popping up right about now, including the video earlier where I talked about all the crazy stuff that's going to be coming to Raid Shadow Legends very, very soon. Don't forget to check that video out because it was posted earlier today. Have a great day, everyone, and until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.